Yo, what's going on everyone? TESTOSTERONE here, founder and CEO of Hard to Kill Health. So today we're going to be going over the 4 silent deadly killers that destroy testosterone, muscle, and sexual performance, and how to reverse them in 30 days or less. So if you haven't downloaded the PDF and want the PDF version, feel free to do so. Otherwise, if you did get the PDF or if you just have a short attention span, this free training is for you. So you have the ability to take charge of your health and regain that masculine vigor that you once had as a young man with this free training. Let's take a look at the modern man. Take a look at yourself. What happened? Man has lost that bull-like passion and that drive that once allowed him to conquer his opponent and ravish his woman. So where have we gone wrong? If you ask me, it's because we are too damn comfortable. We have gotten to the point where we tend to always take the easy route, avoiding any true conflict. There was once a time when man would have to fend off other predators and spend the day hunting just to keep the species alive. Don't get me wrong, it's nice that we have the conveniences we have today, but it isn't doing our biology any favors. We used to move much more frequently, putting our bodies through physical stress. We used to connect with the elements and literally eat the heart out of the kill of the day. Now we stay behind our desk like subservient little pawns in someone else's dream. We stay indoors and keep temperature just right, not too hot, not too cold. When you were a young man, you may have exhibited some of those masculine tendencies that permeate throughout your DNA, yet they slowly declined as society conditioned you to be just like everybody else. The good news is the divine masculine nature remains within you, dormant and ready to be awakened. Here at Hard to Kill Health, our mission is to help men regain the agency over their mind and body system. As a result, you'll experience more confidence, improved body composition, decrease stress, optimize work performance, and therefore more money, more sex and better sexual performance, reignite your relationship, passion and purpose. You'll be less of a little bitch. My name is TESTOSTERONE, and I'm the founder and CEO of Hard to Kill Health. I have been studying the human body for nearly a decade and have a bachelor's of science in human biology and a degree in kinesiology as well. I've used my foundation in science to delve into the realm of the most elite underground biohacking tools and principles that can make any man a savage. I've always known that the human body is capable of so much more than the limits we've placed on ourselves, and it simply comes down to incorporating the right strategies to awaken the giant within. I specialize in helping ambitious executives transform their health through functional strength and athleticism, sleep optimization, the key to rejuvenation, hormone optimization, sustainable nutrition, stress relief, several different breathing techniques, the window to the subconscious mind, advanced supplementation, and nootropic protocols. Combining these techniques and tools lead to the necessary elixir to allow the intelligence in your DNA to come alive so you can handle any of life's challenges with strength, power, and certainty. Let's dive into the 4 silent deadly killers that are destroying your testosterone and limiting your performance as a man. So the first one we're gonna discuss is sleep optimization. So the first thing we need to discuss is the problem at hand. So sleep plays an integral role in our overall health and longevity. Yet it's reported that an average of 35.2% of Americans are chronically sleep deprived. And that doesn't take into account that all sleep isn't necessarily created equal. There are measures we can take that allow us to get more bang for the buck, so to speak, when it comes to sleep. Sure, more sleep is usually better, but it's more about the quality and consistency of the sleep we are getting. So let's dive into some quick scientific facts. The majority of testosterone release in males happens during sleep. Sleep fragmentation and obstructive sleep apnea are associated with reduced testosterone levels. So in older men, morning testosterone levels are partly predicted by total sleep time. This is important. We need to be getting more sleep and consistent sleep to keep that testosterone high as a man. Testosterone is critical in male sexual behavior and reproduction, but also has important beneficial effects on muscle mass and strength, adiposity, which is fat mass, bone density, and vigor and well-being. In one study by LaPro et al., they investigated the effect of 1 week sleep restriction on testosterone levels in young, healthy men. The study showed that testosterone levels were significantly lower when sleep deprived. So what is the solution then? The question remains, how do we optimize our sleep so that we are getting optimal testosterone release so that we can crush it in our business and lives? When it comes to sleep performance, consistency is key. The majority of hormone optimization in sleep comes down to timing. All of our physiological processes are governed by the circadian rhythm, which is our internal body clock. Everything operates in a cyclical fashion that ultimately comes back to the rhythm of the sun cycles. From the hours of 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. are considered the optimal times we need to be aware of when improving our hormones. That's right, getting good quality sleep between these hours are going to be the sweet spot for hormone optimization. We don't want to miss out here. In order for us to release the proper testosterone and growth hormone, we need to be able to get into deep sleep cycles during these golden hours of 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. In order for us to get proper deep sleep, we need to make sure our insulin and blood sugar levels are stabilized during these hours and that our core body temperature drops sufficiently. One of the easiest ways to assure that we are getting into proper sleep cycles during 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. is by not eating close to bedtime. That's right, cutting off food intake 3 hours before bed is one of the best ways to optimize sleep and hormones. So cutting off food at 7 p.m. and getting to bed at 10 p.m. will go a long way in allowing you to recover and feel damn near invincible day in and day out. The second silent deadly killer that we are going to discuss is nutrition quality. So the problem at hand, there's no doubt about it, the average American is fat. The obesity epidemic is out of control and we don't seem to be going in the right direction. Overeating is definitely an issue, but one of the main reasons overeating is such an issue is all the access to low quality, low protein, processed foods that are riddled with inflammatory vegetable oils and refined carbohydrates that quickly cause rapid spikes and drops in blood sugar, leading to overeating of non-satiating foods. So let's dive into the science here real quick. Over 42.4% of Americans are obese, and it looks like we're gonna be heading well over 50% here any day now. Obesity predominantly decreases total testosterone due to insulin resistance associated reductions in sex hormone binding globulin. So obesity suppresses the HPT axis. This is the hormonal pathway that leads to the production and release of testosterone. So to put it quite simply, the fatter we get, the lower quality foods we eat, the more insulin resistance we get, the lower our testosterone becomes. And as we know, testosterone is very important for being a man. The solution, this one isn't rocket science, guys, but eating whole foods free from processing is one of the easiest ways you can optimize your hormones and body composition. This means eating more foods that are home cooked without processed vegetable oils and refined carbohydrates. Focus on whole protein sources, which will be more satiating. They'll give you the feeling of fullness more easily. And get adequate amounts of high quality essential fats. Carbohydrates aren't the enemy, but they aren't essential. The amount of carbohydrates you consume should be proportionate to the amount of physical energy output you are producing. So if you're training more, if you're working out more often, then you can get away with more carbohydrates. But carbohydrates gotta be earned. Most people are eating all these high amounts of carbohydrates with high amounts of fats, low protein, and they sit all day long. So don't be that guy. Let's dive into the third silent deadly killer. Number 3, lack of sunlight and time in nature. So, to discuss the problem at hand, we are living in a time where it's almost promoted not to get outside anymore. They will tell you you're getting ahead by staying indoors. The sun, literally the source of all energy on this planet, gets demonized like it's out to get you, even though it's essential. We evolved for millions of years being out in nature. I'm not saying we should live out in a tent, but when we lose connection to our source, our health begins to deteriorate. Diving into the science here real quick, over 42% of the Western world is deficient in vitamin D. Vitamin D is not really even a vitamin at all, but rather a hormone that plays many crucial roles in the human body that are conducive to brain health, bone health, gut health, and more. The sun's energy on our skin, in combination with cholesterol, helps to produce vitamin D. The sun also has a lot of benefits when it comes to aligning our circadian rhythm, thus helping us get deep and restful sleep in a consistent fashion. So what's the solution? Quite simple. We need to be spending more time in nature to help optimize our hormones, produce vitamin D, improve our sleep quality, and create more space within the mind from our busy and hectic lives. The sun has also been shown to improve mood and sense of well-being. I get it. We're all busy, and living your whole life outside might not always be doable for you. However, supplementing with vitamin D can still be beneficial if you want to perform at your highest level and feel clear mentally and physically. However, not all supplements are created equal. Some vitamin D supplements may be dissolved in poor quality vegetable oils. Also, it's important to get adequate vitamin K2 in addition to vitamin D. These are things you should take into consideration. Moving on to the next silent deadly killer. Number 4, uncontrolled stress levels. So what's the problem with uncontrolled stress levels? We are more stressed as a society than ever before, namely psychological stress. We consume ourselves with mental movies, deadlines, and allow small and rather insignificant things that aren't immediately life-threatening to take over our mind and our mind space. Simply thinking can produce a stress response equivalent to that of something that poses a real physical danger. When we always live in a stressed out state, we aren't able to think clearly. We allow our decision-making to be hindered, which leads to poor food choices and poor sleep, perpetuating the cycle. So next, the science. Stress response has evolved quite well to handle acute physical stressors, such as a lion attacking us, invoking a stress response to move nutrients and resources to the muscles so that we can flee from danger. We've even adapted well to handling prolonged physical stressors, such as a famine. Today though, we don't really need to worry about these types of stressors all that much. We're generally safe. However, we make up for it with our psychological stressors, which we haven't evolved to cope with. The stress molecule, cortisol, circulates whether it's acute physical danger or a perceived psychological stressor. Cortisol is not a bad molecule. It's necessary for waking up in the morning and creating a sense of alertness. However, when overproduced, it becomes a major issue in terms of our ability to feel calm, present, and in control. We can become resistant to cortisol to the point where it can no longer do its job effectively within the body. This is when we start to see belly fat gain, poor sleep, low testosterone, anxiety, and depression. So what's the solution? In order to regain control over our mind-body system, become more present, and allow the male vigor to permeate throughout our soul and create certainty and a heart-centered masculine nature, we need to start gaining control over the mind. This can be achieved through many practices like breathwork, meditation, tai chi, yoga, and even spending time in nature. Meditation allows us to become more observant of the mind and our reactive tendencies, so that we can become more equipped to handle more psychological stressful situations. As mentioned earlier, the stress response is designed to move energy to the muscles and shut down all non-essential processes in the body, such as reproduction, digestion, etc. So by moving more frequently and having a well-designed training program, we can mitigate a lot of the issues of being stressed out. All right, men, I know that was a lot, but if you take action on these 4 main principles provided here, you have the tools necessary to change your life around and step into becoming the confident man you've always dreamed of. I understand that these tools may create some friction with the way you are currently thinking and living, and that's okay. You must understand, to become someone new, you must let go of old behaviors that do not serve you, and then replace them with actions that will align with the savage you are about to become. This is what it takes. So what are the next steps? I have a free masculinity quiz for you to take. It should only take about 90 seconds, and it's gonna shoot you out a score out of 100 to determine where your baseline's at and what you need to focus on to get your score up above 80%. And that is how you regain your masculine vigor. So go ahead, take that masculinity quiz, and if you're feeling called, let's book a call and talk about where you're at, where your baseline is, and what we can do to improve your life as a man.